So here the question is longest valid parenthesis. So let me explain the question. So basically we have given a string of parentheses and we have to find out the length of longest valid parenthesis substring. So if we will look into this example, the length of balanced substring is 2, that is this much of what, and here it is 4, right? So basically we have to return the length of longest balanced parenthesis that should be of substring, right? So this problem is a little bit variation of standard problem, that is longest subarray with some zero, right? What let me show you. Suppose we have given this number and we have to find the length of longest subarray such that sum is 0. So for this what we have done is, in this question, this is a standard problem. If you have not watched this problem, you have to first learn this problem and then you can solve this problem by simple modification. So what is the concept of this problem is, we were using the concept that if the sum of this much part of the subarray is x, right, and if the sum of this much part of the subarray is also x, what does it mean? It means that from this point to this point sum is 0, right? If sum of this much part is x and this much part is x, it means that we have sum from this point to this point is 0, so that if we will add this x plus 0, we will get total sum as x, right? So this is the logic that we were using the in the concept of for solving the largest subarray with some 0, right? Now the concepts would be same, but a little bit variation would be here to solve this problem. So what is the concept here? Let's discuss. So now we will use the concept, if open till this point is x, means count of open till this point is x, and count of open till this point is also x, then what does it mean? It means that count of open from this point to this point is 0. Count of open point, sorry, count of open bracket from this point to this would be 0, right? What does it mean? It means that we have basically how I will store the open is, if I will get open bracket then I will plus 1, right? And if I will get close bracket I will do minus 1, right? So open will be 0. It means that we have closed bracket, either this form, here open is 2, close is 2, so total open would be 0, right? For this also open will be 0. So basically if open will be 0, it means that this that much part of the substring will be having having the balanced substring. So here what is the concept? We will store the count of open from this point. Let's say the count of open was x, and up to this point the count of open was x. It means that this part of the substring is having the open as 0, and we know that if open is 0, it means that this portion is balanced, right? Why balanced? Because we are storing open as if we have got open bracket, we will increment +1, and if we have got close bracket, we will decrement it by -1. It means that open will be 0, then number of open and close bracket will be equal, and it would be a balanced substring of parenthesis. So this is the concept we will be using in the problem. So now let's walk through the algorithm. Right. So what is the first step? Initially, for solving this, we know that we need to create a map that will store the index where the count of open is like what is the count of open bracket and the index. So basically the key will be count of open and the value will be index. The index, right? So initially at index number -1, we will have open as 0, right? So this is same as the finding the largest subarray with sum 0, right? So map of 0, it means that when open count will be 0 initially, the index will be -1. This is the first step. Second step is we will run from every character of the string and we'll check if it is open. If it is open bracket, then we will simply increment open and will store the index corresponding to this, so that let's say up to this point the open is x, then we will store the index of this point, so that if we get up to this open is x, then we can subtract this index to this index to get this length, right? So we will store the index to this open into map. So map of open will be I, right? This is the second step. Third step is if second step, and this is the first option. Second option is if we will have close bracket, then I will decrement the open, right? And first option, then after that if open is less than 0, it means that we will have number of close bracket greater than open bracket, like so. See this, here open is 1, here open is 0, and if you get this, there open is greater than close, so here open is -1. So if close bracket is greater than open bracket, then open will be negative. So if open is negative, then this whole part will not contribute into answer. So I will initialize open as 0 and will try to calculate from this point onward, because up to this point we have already got the answer. So if open is less than 0, then open will be 0, and we will mark this point where open was 0. So map of this open will be I, right? So this is the first option we will get after decrementing. Second option is that if we get open greater than equal to 0, it means that we have balanced substring of parenthesis. So in that case, we will simply do I minus map of open and maximize this value into a answer variable. So map of open. So this is that step where we are doing that if at point I we get x and at point I we get like open edge x, and at any point before this we get open edge x, then this much of length would be I minus map of open, right? So this length will be calculated from this point. So we will update this into a global variable, let's say answer, and we'll calculate, right? So now let's dry run to this example. Initially open will be 0, so here my map will be, and open will be 0, then index will be -1. Now here I will come, it is close bracket, so open will be negative. So if open is negative, close bracket, then open is negative, and if open is negative we will set open as 0. So we will set open as 0 and we'll store this point into the map because this point may contribute into answer. Previous point will not contribute because that part is invalid, right? So now at 0, open equal to 0, we will have index at 0. Now we will come to this point and this is open, so open will be 1. So if it is open bracket, so we will simply increment the open and will store this index into the map. So at open 1 the index is 1. Next we will have this close bracket, and for this close bracket open will be 0, right? Open will be 0, and whenever we find like close bracket we will decrement open, that is our open will now be 0. And if it is less than 0, no. It is greater than equal to 0, yes. It means that this much part is balanced. So I will store I minus index of previous values of open. So I is basically 2 here. So 2 minus map of open, that is 0, that is 0. So 2 minus 0 is 2 rows. 2 minus 0 is 2. So answer will be 2 for now. Now we will come to this point. Now open will be 1. Open will be 1. So if open is 1, we will simply, if it is open brackets, so we will simply increment open and will store in the map. So at 1, so this point will be reinitialized, and at 1 open equal to 1 we will have index 0, 1, 2 and 3. So index 3. Now we will come here and we will check. So for this open will be 0. So if open will be 0, then we'll check is less than 0, no. It is greater than equal to 0, yes. So answer will be, now I minus I is basically 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 minus index of previous open equal to 0, so that is 0. So 4 minus 0, that is also 0, sorry 4, and this 4 is greater than 2, so answer will be updated to 4, right? Now my pointer will be at this, and here open will be -1. So if open is less than 0, I will set open as 0 and also update the map so that I can get the future answer, because before this point we will have invalid, right? And what we had the valid answer, we have already got that. So here what will be, it will be index number 5, and this is the last character, so our for loop will stop, right? So answer will be 4 for this. So this is the algorithm. Let's see the code part. This is the code. Answer is initially 0, right? Then a map. Open is initially 0 and index is -1 at initial. Run a loop, and if open bracket, then simply increment that and store in the map, store index in the map. Else, if it is close bracket, then decrement open, and if open is less than 0, it means that number of close bracket is greater than open bracket. So this much part of like substring will not contribute into answer, so simply put open is 0 and put the new index to this open, so that I can get the future answer. Else, if open is greater than equal to 0, it means that either like open is greater than close, means that it will form a valid parenthesis. So answer will be I minus index of previous open, and we will maximize the answer. So this is the code, you can check it. So thanks.